Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. So if you've ever actually stopped and wondered how economists or, just everyday businesses really measure how much demand shifts when prices change, well, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we are opening up what I like to call the Elasticity Measurement Toolkit. We're going to build a clear, mathematical, and highly practical understanding of demand elasticity using 4 very specific tools straight from our source material. Let's get started.
Picture this for a second. A local store decides to drop the price of its absolute most popular item. Now, on the surface, you instinctively know demand is probably going to go up, right? But here is the real million-dollar question. Will the total revenue actually go up, or will it go down? Just knowing that demand changes isn't enough. We have to know exactly how much it changes. How do we actually measure that changing demand accurately? Well, that is exactly the practical problem we are going to solve today with our toolkit.
Okay, let's dive into this. We are literally adding 4 distinct mathematical tools to your economic tool belt today. The total expenditure method, the highly precise percentage method, the geometric point method, and finally, the arc method.
Let's kick things off with tool number 1, the total expenditure method, which is sometimes called the outlay method.
This method is incredibly intuitive because it looks directly at the actual money leaving a consumer's wallet. Let's think about 3 distinct cases here where a price falls from 6 down to 5 and then down to 4. To figure out the total expenditure, we simply multiply the price by the demand. Simple enough, right? In the first case, as the price drops, demand shoots up so much that the total expenditure actually goes up from 6,000 to 8,000. In case 2, expenditure just stays perfectly constant. And in case 3, well, the price drop just isn't quite enough to boost demand and the total expenditure actually falls. The direction that this money moves is our secret decoder ring for finding elasticity.
So the crucial point is this. You don't even need some wildly complex formula here. If a price drop causes total expenditure to increase, boom, you have elastic demand. The market was highly responsive. If expenditure stays exactly the same, that's unitary elasticity. And if total expenditure drops, you're looking at inelastic demand.
All right, that was a solid start. Let's move smoothly into tool number 2, which acts as a nice mathematically precise palate cleanser, the percentage method.
Some folks call this the proportionate method, but whatever you call it, this is your core go-to formula for calculating exactly how responsive a market really is. Elasticity of demand simply equals the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in price.
Let's walk through a quick example, step by step. First, we figure out the percentage change in demand. Let's just say it shifted by 11.25%. Next up, we pinpoint the price change, which in this case was a 20% shift. Finally, the easy part. We just divide that 11.25% demand shift right by the 20% price shift.
And this brilliantly illustrates our result, 0.55. Now, because this number is less than 1, it tells us definitively that the demand is inelastic. Basically, the proportionate change in demand was a lot smaller than the proportionate change in price. It's clean, it's exact, and it perfectly categorizes what the market is doing.
Fantastic. Now let's transition to something a bit more visual. Tool 3, the geometric point method.
So, while the percentage method is amazing for broad changes, this geometric tool is absolutely perfect for finding elasticity at extremely specific, exact points along a linear demand curve. The whole beauty of it lies in a really simple ratio. Lower segment units divided by upper segment units. That is literally it.
Let's rapid-fire prove this from top to bottom. Up at the very top, point A, we have all lower units and 0 upper units. Divide by 0 and you get infinity. As we slide down to point B, the lower segment is still bigger, so the result is greater than 1, meaning it's elastic. Right in the dead middle at point C, the segments are totally equal, giving us exactly 1, or unitary elasticity. By the time we hit the bottom half at point D, the upper segment takes over, dropping our result below 1 for inelastic demand. And finally, point E at the bottom is just 0. From infinity smoothly down to 0, this lower by upper rule just perfectly maps the whole line.
We're making great time here. Let's move to tool 4, our final and honestly most robust instrument, the arc method. Now, let's see how this builds on what we've learned. We really have to acknowledge something important here. Those first 3 methods, they mostly operate on the assumption of straight lines. But we all know real-world demand often curves. When you have a nonlinear curve and you need to find the elasticity between 2 points on that curve, an arc, you absolutely need the arc method.
Because we're dealing with a curve, the formula looks a tiny bit more involved, but seriously, don't let it intimidate you. We are essentially just taking the change in quantity over the change in price and multiplying it by the averages of our initial and final states. Let's actually plug in some real numbers to see how it works.
Let's break down the numerator and the denominator. Say the price drops from 6 to 2, which gives us a change of -4. And let's say the demand rises from 2 to 4, which is a change of 2. We just plug those changes right into our first bracket. For the second bracket, we literally just add the two prices together and add the two quantities together. Finally, we multiply our two brackets. When you multiply all that out, you get -16/24, which simplifies down to -0.66. But, and this is a really critical rule for elasticity, we always use the absolute value. So we just drop the negative sign entirely. That makes our final calculated value 0.66, and because 0.66 is less than 1, the ARC method tells us definitively that along this nonlinear curve, the demand is inelastic. Now, what's really interesting about all this is just how far we've come. We've gone from simply watching consumers' total outlays to calculating precise percentage ratios, to mapping exact geometric points, to finally mastering curves with the ARC method. These aren't just dry formulas, you know? They are absolutely vital business tools for reading the market. So the very next time you see a store drop its prices, ask yourself, which of these 4 tools are you going to pull out of your elasticity toolkit to truly measure the impact? Thanks so much for joining me today, and hey, keep questioning the data.